ドジャースとパドレスのディビジョンステージ第3戦はパドレス本拠地のペトコパークにて開催され、パドレスがドジャースに6対5で勝利いたしました。初回にムーキー・ベッツ選手がソロホームランで先制するも、2回の裏に守備の乱れもある中パドレスが一挙に6点を奪いました。ドジャースも3回に大谷翔平選手、ムーキー・ベッツ選手などが連打で満塁とし、4番のテオスカーヘルナンデス選手が満塁ホームラン。しかし追撃もここまで6対5で敗戦となり、ドジャースは後がなくなってしまいました。今日の試合の様子について解説している番組がありましたので、今回はそちらを翻訳してお届けいたします。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地放送局の様子を翻訳してお届けいたします。お見逃しのないよう今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
Hello, welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. I'm John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr., Oral Hershiser. The Dodgers dropped Game 3 in San Diego. Their season now has been pushed to the brink, one win or one loss away from elimination. It was really came down to an ugly second inning for the Dodgers. They gave up 6 runs, a couple of extra outs given to the Padres, maybe a couple of bad pitches by Walker Buehler as well. Teo answered with that grand slam. Next thing you know, Jerry, it's a 6-5 game with 6 innings to play, but we saw nothing the rest of the way.
Yeah, you know what? There are no moral victories here, especially in the postseason. I love the fact that the Dodgers battled back, especially when the Padres put up that 6th spot. They had a couple seeing eye singles. Obviously, that error kind of caused that Padres inning to really storm over and get out of hand. But the Dodgers fought back. I thought it was a well-played game after that. But like you mentioned, John, you can't give a team, especially like that at home, extra outs.
Yeah, it's a game of 90 feet, but the Dodgers gave them more than 90 feet in that game. They were giving them outs. Walker Buehler really pitched really, really well. I mean, and for him to go the 5 innings and then to continue on a little bit, Dave Roberts going out to the mound, maybe the first time this year that he's gone to the mound and not taking the pitcher out and showing confidence in Walker Buehler. It was big game Buehler out there, but that 1 inning, they actually probably handed this win to the San Diego Padres.
All right, well, let's dive into that bottom of the 2nd inning, Oral, because you mentioned it. Walker Buehler was a bit unlucky in this inning at times, charged with 6 earned runs. It should not have been 6 earned runs.
They're going to change that.
Yeah, there's an error in the inning. They can't have that run. And this is an error on Freddie Freeman. I think that's what they'll call it. And we move from there to the ground ball to Miguel Rojas, where he thinks he can take the double play by himself, but he's 3 steps away and not 2 steps away. And they did a great job getting to second base in time.
Yeah, again, obviously, Merrill can absolutely fly, so I'm very curious to see why Miguel Rojas, who's elite at shortstop, they just flip it over to Gavin Lux, and then once again, they take advantage of it. You give a team extra outs, extra opportunities, especially with that momentum of that crowd, and then you can see the frustration here, a singing ice signal, really no play, got to put in your pocket, and that's why they're growing frustration. Here, they want that pitch up. This is an 0-2 pitch, middle in, can't happen. I think that really was his only mistake.
Yeah.
That was the only mistake. So, listen, I understand Walker Buehler's frustration. I would be frustrated as well.
Yeah.
But he pitched well enough, obviously, to not allow 6 runs. It's unfortunate, but the Padres capitalized on it.
Yeah, they probably could have had a 3 spot right there if things go normal baseball world. But, you know, Walker made that 0-2 fastball right down the middle. That is a huge mistake. But you're right. That's the biggest glaring mistake. We were hoping to get 5 innings from him, maybe only 2 runs. And he had that kind of stuff and that kind of execution where that Tatis home run would have been the only runs maybe he gives up. And then the rest of it, you know, Miguel Rojas, sometimes you try to do a little too much, especially when you're the emotional leader of the infield, the captain. I'm sure he gave some speeches on the bus ride where they had the only players on the bus. And I think he thought about, if I give this to Gavin and there's an exchange, we have no chance to double play. But if I can get to second and he's just a little too far, there's no exchange and I get a double play. He didn't get anybody.
Didn't get any outs, but Miguel Rojas did lead off the top of the 3rd inning right after that with a base hit, Jerry. And then here come the Dodgers trying to answer back immediately, and they would.
And I love this fight in this Dodger team. Again, Miguel Rojas, short swing up the middle. He is a leadoff hitter. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani right there, a little off the end of that. But contact is king, especially at this point. All you're doing is looking for base running. We got action. Mookie Betts, I loved his approach tonight with the home run. And here, the other way, right center. Obviously, Miggy Rowe wasn't unable to stay in this game. And here, 2-strike approach, a hanging breaking ball. I told you, King makes mistakes with that breaking ball. You got to be ready to hit it. Obviously, Teoscar Hernandez was waiting for it. Hits an absolute bomb, grand slam. Now we're back in it. 6-5, but it's unfortunate. That was the end of the scoring, you know, from the Dodgers and from the San Diego Padres, our bullpen did an incredible job. The one thing I'm a little surprised, I know we're going to get into it a little later. You know, when Miguel Rojas came out of the game, the first guy off the bench, call me crazy, it's Kike Hernandez. I think that's a no-brainer. Kike is the first guy off the bench, especially with his postseason experience. There's nothing against Paez. Paez is a young player, rookie. He's going to have an incredible career, especially with base running, especially as a defender, and especially in a hostile environment, knowing you're going to have big opportunities with the bat. Paez got 2 at-bats. And again, they trust the rookie, and I love this kid. But for my money, I'm going with the trusted veteran who has incredible postseason record. I'm stunned Kike Hernandez didn't see this game.
You could have gone there. That's a guy who's blind to pressure, and he is amazing. What we saw him do in Wrigley Field with all the home runs, what we've seen in other times. You're right. He is blind to it.
Let's go back to the bottom of the second inning, Laurel, because we were watching this, obviously, when it was happening, and Manny Machado was not ruled running out of the baseline. And you've talked about this. You create your own baseline as a runner. He took 3 or 4 steps towards second, then he veered left. But I guess because it's not a tag play?
Exactly. You know, it's just like Mookie Betts' deke home run. How far out of the baseline, supposedly, if there was a baseline, was he? He was completely out. So you can create your own baseline. You can run where you want as long as you're not avoiding a tag. I had to call a few of my experts. I called Bobby Valentine. I called some other guys. And they said, yeah, it's a terrible play. Maybe after this play, baseball will change the rule. But it seems like a dirty play a little bit, right? But you always, if Freddie is over back towards the bag and on his feet, runners always kind of veer slightly to run towards the fielder at second base. But this one was a radical move.
Obviously, Manny Machado, what he did, obviously, at Dodger Stadium, unacceptable. That was a great play by Manny Machado. I got to call a spade a spade. We are taught. We had the same instructor, Bobby Dickerson, the Oriole way. We've been taught since rookie ball. Manny Machado, been taught by Bobby Dickerson, so was I. You're at first base, you don't slide into second base, you create your own baseline. And another thing, too, Manny Machado looked back and saw Freddie Freeman was on his knees. Chances are, if I'm the runner, everybody knows he's hurt. He's probably not going to pop up with his legs, so he's going to have to throw from his knees. That's why you didn't see a slide. That's why, meaning, you saw a slide after he got hit, but that's why you do that. Listen, Major League Baseball players, they are taught from rookie ball on, this is what you do. Now, that's within the rules. That is the rules. Now, will they change the rules? I don't know. But I got to give Manny Machado credit, man. I hate to do it, but he was exactly right. That's what we're trained to do. We create our own baseline. As long as you're not getting tagged, you can really run wherever you want to run.
You run at the fielder, and if you can adjust to the glove, you do that. And he did everything.
Yeah.
He certainly did. Meantime, Walker Buehler, he gave up 6 runs in that inning. He certainly deserved a better fate than that, Jerry, because for 5 innings tonight, he gave the Dodgers everything they could have asked for, really, realistically, from this outing. He probably gives up 2, maybe 3 runs at the most, if not for those couple
And we
plays.
wanted a shutdown inning there first, and he got that shutdown inning. And it's unfortunate. Some weak contact that here, this is not a bad pitch. You know what? This up and in, David Peralta, who's been a good hitter a long time. This is, I believe, the only mistake he made. 0-2 pitch, they wanted up and away. It's really center cut, middle in. And again, I understand Walker's frustration, man, and we know he's a warrior. It's just one of those things where he deserved a better fate than he got. It's just unfortunate.
For me, the Peralta pitch was a bad pitch, Jerry. This is why.
Okay.
Because the pitch before was a breaking ball that he pulled foul home run distance, and it was only foul like 20, 30 feet. So if he's ahead of a breaking ball and you're going in, he's already got the quick twitch on the inside when he sees it there. You know, you're hoping if you throw the fastball in, he pulls it foul, but you've thrown a faster pitch to help him keep it fair. And he did by the 30 feet that the breaking ball was foul. I would have thought you would have think, oh, off speed in, pulled it foul. I need to go off speed away, make him roll over, something like that. And it was a hard pitch. I don't like getting beat in the postseason on the inside part of the plate. I think you pitch away and you show in. When you go in, it's got to be black or ball. That was black. Yeah. But it was after a breaking ball that he just barely pulled foul.
And he saw that lane.
And his quick twitch, and they had just said on the broadcast, which I didn't have this information before, that he hit 5 home runs in a row to the pull side in BP and looked like he was was so locked in, and that's why he was in the lineup. So that, you know, we're armchair quarterbacks, right? We got second look. But just for me, in the moment, I said, oh, don't go back in there. And he did.
And I imagine as a pitcher, these are the kind of pitches that keep you up at night after because you're rethinking all of this stuff.
Yeah, the Tatis ball down the middle in an 0-2 count's going to keep him up at night. And that one, he's going to think about strategy and learn and have wisdom. But he made a lot of clubs love him. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. I know the Dodgers love him, but this was an outing to show that Buehler's back.
Got two, Dave. First of all, what can you tell us right now about your pitching plans for tomorrow?
I think as far as pitching plans, it's, you know, essentially all hands on deck. It's probably, it's a bullpen game. I see one of our relievers starting. We'll sort of talk through it, and knowing we've got Jack and Yamamoto for a potential Game 5.
And then, Shohei's obviously been so great this season. Do you see any press in him now? And what would you say to your fans who, not, you know, wrongly expected that, oh my God, this guy's going to do exactly what he did in the regular season?
I think that the moment is certainly is not getting too big for him. I think they're making some good pitches. Obviously, had a good Game 1 and was kept somewhat at bay. Still threw out a knock tonight. So, yeah, I mean, I think that he's still in a good place, and he'll be ready to hit a mistake, and I still feel good about having Shohei in there tomorrow to do some special things.
Stay here on the left, third row.
Dave, how's Miguel Rojas doing right now?
He's hanging in there. It's his adductor that he's sort of dealt with all year. Obviously, we had to take him out, couldn't stay in the game. I don't know his status for tomorrow. Given that it's an elimination game, I'm sure he's going to want to be in there. But, you know, we've got to evaluate, you know, at what cost as far as how effective he can be, you know, whether it be defensively with the range or at the plate. So I don't know that right now, but I know I'm sure he's going to probably try to lobby to be in there tomorrow. Same thing with Freddie. That's right.
Go to Russell in the third row in the middle.
Dave, that second inning seemed to kind of snowball on Walker. Obviously, Tatis hits the big home run. Does it seem like a night where the box score might look differently for him if, you know, Freddie turns that play or at least gets a force out and some soft contact before the homer?
I think so. I thought, obviously, the pitch to Tatis was a bad pitch. But I think leading up to that, there were just balls that we just didn't convert into outs. And it builds the stress in the inning. Obviously, that play with Freddie and then the ground ball to Miggy that we couldn't get the lead runner. We couldn't get Merrill there at second base. And it just continues to stress the inning. And Peralta gets a ball that kind of just sneaks inside the line. So there was a lot of soft contact, and I thought Walker did a nice job of keeping his composure and still giving us some length and throwing up some zeros after that. But again, when you give a good team extra outs, it's hard to throw up zeros.
You talked about the experience that your ball club has. Another year on the brink of elimination. Is this where that group has to do it themselves? Like, I know you didn't want to say too much before the game. Is it the same thing now? It's the same thing. You're right. It's 26 players that everyone's got to be available in whatever capacity. We've got to win tomorrow night to then pick up the pieces for Game 5. I don't know how that's going to look, but certainly these guys came out with energy. We responded with the big Teo homer, and I feel good about preventing runs, but again, we still got to play good defense too.
Go to Steve in the second row.
Can you explain to me, because obviously I don't know, could you have appealed that throw that hit Machado? Did he come out of the line? What is the rule now? Because again, I'm not sure I know.
You can't appeal it, and the thing is that from my vantage point, it's not a replayable play,
Okay.
a challenge play, and you know, Manny, you can create your own base path if you're not avoiding a tag, and you know, it was a heady play.
Okay, thank you.
Go to Clinton.
The game started in an exceedingly weird fashion, just like the other play with Mookie at the plate. What did you think about that play, and just in general, how do you feel about him finally getting some?
Yeah, no, it was good to see Mookie swing the bat well. I think that if you're talking about a silver lining, Mookie way he swung the bat well tonight. Freddie swung the bat well. Didn't get much to show for it. The guys in the pen did a really nice job. But yeah, I mean, I think the way things have been going for Mookie, he just assumed that the guy made the play in left field. So fortunately, Profar didn't make that one.
It was one of the stories we talked about coming into the series was the health of Miguel Rojas and also Freddie Freeman. Both guys end up coming out of this game after getting base hits. We saw Miggy running the bases. He was going to third, Jerry, and then he was taken out early in this game. And then Freddie Freeman, he came out understandably for a pinch runner late. Hopefully both guys will be good to go for Game 4.
Yeah, understandably, these guys want to be out there for their team. These guys have worked extremely hard. They are warriors. Even through pain, they want to be out there for their team. And here, this is a rocket to right center field. Normally, Miguel Rojas would score on this play, but obviously the abductor has been bothering him side to side, running the bases, so stopping and starting, rounding bases is going to be extremely painful. I would be shocked if Miguel Rojas is playing tomorrow. Now, with Freddie Freeman, it's all about playing pain tolerance. Okay, obviously his bat and even his presence hitting third is huge for this team. It's just unfortunate that he's still dealing with that. I thought he swung the bat extremely well tonight. He looked great, and he provides protection for Shohei and Mookie Betts. I would be shocked that he's not playing. Again, he's not playing shortstop, okay? Where shortstop, you got to have lateral quickness, have a lot of movement. And I think that play up the middle with Miguel Rojas, I think if he just flips it, turns a double play, obviously they don't score as many runs that inning. But I think sometimes when you're injured, you probably try to do too much or try to be like you are when you're completely healthy. And it's unfortunate that Miggy and Freddie have to deal with these injuries.
Yeah, it's one thing to be able to step on a bag, what Freddie Freeman did, and then all of a sudden be tweaked a little bit. It's another thing to have the range you need to play shortstop, and that's the problem with Miggy there. I'll tell you what, it was a tough inning because I think just recording basic outs in that inning, it changes the whole momentum of the inning. It takes the crowd slightly out of it. It exponentially really felt like a heaviness came on top of the Dodgers with 40, 50,000 people chanting, beat LA. They're not getting any outs. There's all kinds of runs. There's towels flying, and there's 0 outs, and Walker Buehler's pitch count is going up.
Right. And there's energy in the other dugout.
Basic, solid defense right there would have really helped.
Came here to make a postseason run. How devastating was this loss to now face elimination?
もうあとシンプルに2勝するっていうことだけ考えて、今日終わったことは終わったことで、もう明日に切り替えて頑張りたいなと思ってます。
What do you think Scott will be able to do against you in your 3 at-bats against him this series?
もちろん素晴らしい投手ではあるので、こちら側にしっかりとしたアプローチ、しっかりとした状態で打席にまずは立つことっていうのが一番大事かなと思います。
Shohei, just talk about the environment tonight at Petco Park and how you took in this crowd.
勝ってて素晴らしかったですね。ポストシーズンだなという、ドジャースタジアムもそうでしたけど、はい。
What gives you the confidence that you guys will be able to come back from a 2-1 deficit in this series?
一緒に入っていう今日も劣勢からしっかりとあそこまでまず追い上げてますし、そこはもちろん自信持っていいんじゃないかなと思うので、そこの流れをね、あとは持ってこれれば必ず2連勝できるんじゃないかなと思います。
A lot has been made of the intensity of this Padre team and, of course, the atmosphere here at Petco Park. Do you feel like the Dodgers, the players, are matching that intensity? And if not, is that a problem?
チームの雰囲気はやっぱりいいんじゃないかなと思いますね。もちろんその短期決戦に臨むにあたってみんな気合も入ってると思うし、もちろん勝ちたいという気持ちも出てるとは思うので、今日もね負けてはしまいましたけど、全体的な雰囲気っていうのはみんな勝ちに向かって見えてるんじゃないかなと思います。
And then how did it change after Teo's grand slam?
いやもう素晴らしい一振りでしたし、もうチームを一気にゲームに戻すようなそういう素晴らしい一打だったなと思います。
Have you ever been in a position where you've been down in a postseason game, and what did you do to rally back?
そうですかね、そのミスも絡んでちょっと嫌な雰囲気でしたけど、まずそこから盛り返してあそこまでいけたっていうのが 一番自信にもちろんしていいところだと思いますし、あと本当に少しの流れさえつかめれば今日も十分に勝つチャンスはあったんじゃないかなと思います。
Shohei, this has been an incredibly intense series. This is obviously your first postseason series. Has anything surprised you about that?
いやまずはここでできていること自体に感謝したいですし、ここまで健康で野球ができていること、今日もしっかりプレーできたことにまずしっかり感謝したいなと思うので、明日に向けてまたしっかり調整して頑張りたいなと思ってます。
Must win game 4 for the Dodgers tomorrow night. They will go with an opener. The Padres are going with Dylan Cease starting on 3 days rest for the first time in his career. In game 1, Shohei Ohtani had that 3-run homer off of him in the second inning, Oral, and they chased Dylan Cease in the 4th inning of that game after putting up 5 against him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when it's his first time because he's experimenting with the workout, whether he plays catch, whether he has a side work, what he does, when does he eat, how does this all work out. So it is an experiment, and maybe the Dodgers can capitalize on that.
Absolutely. That experience, hopefully it kind of backfires on that. Obviously, he's not going to be as fresh. Hopefully, he leaves pitches up in the zone. And he got hit pretty good at Dodger Stadium, so Dodgers are very familiar with him. Hopefully, they have a big night swinging the bats.
Obviously, it is a must-win game for the Dodgers facing elimination game 4 in San Diego.
番組の中でもたくさん話されていましたが、やはり守備の乱れは命取りですね。送球エラー、そしてたった一つの判断ミス、重なってランナーが溜まったところで立石選手に一発を浴びる展開は、見ていて正直痛々しかったです。少年野球でも高校野球でもプロ野球でもメジャーリーグでも全て共通していますが、不用意なランナーほど得点にはよく絡むと思います。追い込まれたドジャースが明日はどのような戦いを見せるのか、このどんよりとした空気に桐谷さんが覚醒してバッコバッコ打ちまくってくれることを期待しましょう。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。